Hello everyone, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the G.I. Joe retro figure, the Snow Serpent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at him in packaging. Now I'm going to take a look at the figure and his accessories, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on them. And just remember, if you do like this review, go ahead and check out my G.I. Joe playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. Alright, so here he is in packaging. The one thing I do like about this retro line is I love that they're using them on the old card back looks. I like that a lot. So you get this really nice picture of the figure. You get the G.I. Joe logo. He's obviously Cobra. You get your choking hazards, age restrictions. You got his name right here underneath the G.I. Joe logo. The Hasbro logo. Then you get this nice open window where you can see him and all his accessories. Spinning around to the back. Alright, you get a profile card. I love the factor that they're bringing back the profile cards. I think that's really cool. Everybody else that's part of this wave. And also your legal underneath. So with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. Okay, so here he is out of packaging. He's an overall good looking figure. He's practically the classified figure, just with a different paint deco and also, you know, different equipment and what have you. Actually, less equipment. So I think the classified figure has everything that this one comes with, but more. If you want to see more on that figure, go ahead and check out my review on him. He's actually a pretty neat figure. So with that being said, let's start with the rotation. So you got this side here. You got that side. And you got this side. Alright. Now the neat thing is he does come with a stand. Alright, most of the figures come with a black stand. I like the fact that they gave him a white one. You know, it kind of matches the figure a little bit more. You got the Cobra emblem right on it. So I think that's pretty cool. Get him back on there. Alright. So let's start looking at some of his finer details. First off, head sculpt looks pretty cool. I like how they give a nice silver around his eye sockets there. You know, it gives it a little bit more pop. All the buckles and everything are painted in. You got the Cobra logo right here on the side. Even the zippers on either side are blue. So that's a nice touch. I do like the furs around his shoulders, hands, and also around his neck. I think that's a really nice detail. You know, you got the standard blue straps, which the original one came with. Alright. So overall, I think he's a pretty good looking figure. I think they definitely did some good detail work on him. So now let's start looking at his points of articulation. So first off, the head does move. Okay. You got a shoulder joint with a swivel. You got an elbow joint, and you have a wrist joint. Right. Get these arms up. He does have a torso joint right above the belt line, and he also has a joint underneath the ribs. You don't get much movement out of it, but it is there. Okay. Spin him around to the side. You got a thigh joint with a swivel. There it goes. Alright. You also got a knee joint. And you do have a swivel right here at the top of the boot. Okay, so there is one there. And then last but not least, you got an ankle joint. So far overall as a figure, it's a pretty good looking figure. I like the overall look to him. Just get him onto that stand. There we go. So now let's start looking at his accessories. So first off, he comes with a backpack. Alright. And he has two water containers on either side that are painted in black. So that's a nice touch to it. Alright, he has a pair of snowshoes. So he has this one, and he has this one. All right, he has two pistols. So he has one and two. All right. He also has a set of goggles. All right. And last but not least, he comes with a rifle. All right. So first off, let's start with the snowshoes. Now the funny thing about these snowshoes is once he gets those on, you don't really need to stand anymore because he'll stand pretty well with the snowshoes on. All right. See? So he stands very well with the snowshoes on. So once those are on, you don't need to stand. But you can always use the stand for, you know, if you don't have the snowshoes on. Now the neat thing is these shoes have some really nice detail underneath. I do like the overall design to them. Okay. Next up, we're going to look at the backpack. It just slides in this peg in his back here. No issues with that. All right, next are the goggles. Okay, normally, most of you will have them displayed with them like this because that's kind of how the figure was. All right, but for those of you who want them down, they do slide down very nicely. So I ain't got no issues with that. All right, get those goggles back up. Get the snowshoe back on. Next, we're going to look at the pistols. Let me get this on. There it goes. All right. So first off, let's do this side. Now, the nice thing about these G.I.Joe classified figures, well, in this case, the retro figures, is their fingers are pretty pliable. You can usually get weapons into them pretty easily. Stress the word usually because now this guy's going to make a liar out of me. All right. Get that down in there. All right, I might have to open this up just a little bit. No, it's going in there. It's a weird hand design is what the issue is. All right, so it's making it hard. All right, I'm just opening up this hand. There we go. There we go. All right, that works. Now to try to get that finger in here, which is also now giving me problems. So this hand is actually giving me some issues trying to get this gun in here. I mean, it will go in. It's already in there. It's just, right now I'm trying to just get the trigger finger in there. That's the issue that I'm having now, is trying to get this trigger finger in there. Yeah. Well, it's in there. All right. I got that hand. Now for the other one. I got to really open up these things. And like I said, if you look at it here, I just put my thumb in there a little bit. It does open up the hand a little bit more. All right. Just these this guy's hands for some reason are just very tight. There we go. All right. So now both pistols are in there. No issues. Okay. So take this one off, slide it into this holster here. There it goes, there's one. And there's two. Alright, so both guns fit into holsters very nicely, and for some reason this snowshoe don't want to stay on. I don't know why. So now, last but not least, is his assault rifle. Before I get into putting it into his hand, he do have a removable clip. Alright, so the clip does come out of there if you want. The stand here, this moves back and forth. So if you want to have them in a laying down position, you know, looking over a snow range or something like that, you can do that. That's what the stand is for. So Let's see how well this fits in his hand. All right. Should probably fit a little bit easier than the pistols now that I monkeyed around with it a little bit. All right, so yeah, there we go. That's in there. Now this gun is designed to be a two-hand hold because you got this other peg. All right, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue because of the factor it looks like the gun's a little short for that. All right, so I'm really trying to at this point just get it so I can get a two-hand hold with him. So he holds it fine like this. With one hand, he definitely holds this okay. I don't have any issues with it. Just trying to get a two-handed hold with this gun is a little bit challenging. All right, so I'm having a lot of problems getting a double hold, the two-handed hold with this. All right, so other than that, a lot of this stuff really works with him. So my final thoughts on him is I still think he's a good figure. He definitely has some flaws to him, but overall I still think he's a good figure. I think he'd go great with the rest of your classified and retro figures. His overall look looks really good. I do like his overall look. His joints move very well. I had no issues with his joints. They weren't too loose, they weren't too tight. You know, most of his equipment fits well on him. My issues start coming into the hands and his weapons because it's a little hard how the hands were sculpted to get the pistols into them. They do go in there eventually, but it's a little bit harder than your average classified figure or retro figure to get the guns into his hands. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but they do work. Probably my main issue with this figure is this gun. It just feels like this gun isn't meant for this figure. It just isn't a good fit with him, in my personal opinion. Because if you're looking here, this clip sits really tight against his arm, almost to the point where if you look, you can see a gap of light through there because the gun isn't fitting as snug into the hand as it should. All right, and that's just because his forearms are a little bit bigger than most figures because of the fur on it. And also, you can't get the two-handle hold with this gun. So this gun is designed to be either held single-handed or two-handed, and he can't get that hold on there. So those are my issues with them. They're pretty much minors. And then I got one personal issue with this figure is I really wish he would have came with his iconic missile launcher. The original American Hero figure that came out in the 80s of him had like a missile launcher as well. And I think that would have just, you know, been the icing on the cake if he would have came with that. So, other than those few issues, I still think he'll look great on the shelf with the rest of your Joes and what have you. So, with that being said, I hope you all did like this review. If you did, go ahead and check out my G.I. Joe playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So, into the next one. Late.